Hi guys, my name is John Armin Magvetang and we're talking about practical research 2. So, quantitative data collection method. Sources of data. The sources of data can be classified into two types, statistical and non-statistical. Statistical sources refer to data that is gathered for some official purposes, in corporate censuses, and officially administered surveys. Non-statistical sources refer to the collection of data for either administrative purposes or for the private sector. What are the different sources of data? So, first is internal sources. When data is collected from reports or the records of the organization itself, they are known as the internal sources. For example, a company publishes its annual report on profit and loss, total sales, loans, wages, and etc. Number two is external sources. When data is collected from sources outside the organization, they are known as the external sources. For example, if a tour and travel company obtains information on Karnataka tourism on Karnataka Transport Corporation, it would be known as an external source of data. So types of data. Primary data. First, primary data, yes. Primary data means first-hand information collected by an investigator. It is collected for the first time. It is original and more reliable. For example, the population census conducted by the government of India after every 10 years is primary data. Second is secondary data. Secondary data refers to second-hand information. It is not originally collected and rather obtained from already published or unpublished sources. For example, the address of a person taken from the telephone directory or the phone number of a company taken from just dial or secondary data. Next topic is data collection methods. Interview. An interview is a face-to-face conversation between two individuals with the role purpose of collecting relevant information to satisfy a research purpose. Interviews are of different types, namely structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, with each having a slight variation from the other. Second is first, structured interviews. Simply put, it is a verbally administered questionnaire. In terms of that, it is surface level and is usually completed within a short period. For speed and efficiency, it is highly recommendable, but it lacks that. Semi-structured interviews. In this method, there subsist several key questions which cover the scope of the areas to be explored. It allows a little more leeway for the researcher to explore the subject matter. Third is unstructured interviews. It is an in-depth interview that allows the researcher to collect a wide range of information with a purpose. An advantage of this method is the freedom it gives to combine structure with flexibility, even though it is more time-consuming. Last is questionnaires. This is the process of collecting data through an instrument consisting of a series of questions and prompts to receive a response from individuals it is administered to. Questionnaires are designed to collect data from group. Paper pencil method. The paper pencil survey is a classic survey method used in market and employee research. The survey participants have to complete a piece of paper by hand. The online survey has largely replace this variant of data collection by now, but under certain circumstances, it is still justified and can draw on its specific strength. Second is web-based questionnaire. Web-based questionnaires, also commonly referred to as an online service, are an increasingly utilized surveying tool to gain knowledge about the attitudes and sentiments of a given population, essential for underestimating quality life. Last but not the least is self-administered questionnaire. A self-administered questionnaire is a structured form that consists of a series of closed-ended and open-ended questions. It is called self-administered as the respondents fill it themselves without an interviewer. Closed-ended questions have a list possible options listed, from which the respondents must choose. This can be pre-coded. Open-ended questions permit any answer that the respondent thinks is appropriate and should be recorded in the respondent's own words. This needs to be coded after all the possible responses and assigned themes have been read. So yes, that's it for my report in practical research number 2. So yes, thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something in my report. Thank you and God bless.